guys, welcome back to Kevin's Place. So, today on the weekly spotlight series, I have here a Cryptomeria Globasa Nana, or you could just say Cryptomeria for short. This is actually one of my favorite evergreens. This is one of my favorites, mostly due to the foliage on the plant. It's very soft to the touch. This type of Cryptomeria also grows in a globe shape. So this is a naturally occurring shape that it has, and that's one of the reasons that I really am attracted to this evergreen. The growth rate on the Cryptomeria globasa is roughly between 1 to 2 inches a year, so it's a very slow growing plant. Also, this one turns a bronze color in the wintertime. I haven't had one through the winter yet, so I'm excited to see what that looks like. But every year it'll come back this nice green color with these nice soft tips on the outer edges. And so the Cryptomeria globasa is actually a very low maintenance plant. When you plant one of these, you really have to water it at least 2 to 3 times a week until it's established. So that can be anywhere from basically up through the first year. And then once it's established, it's a bit more drought tolerant. This Cryptomeria is hardy from zones 5 through 8. I'm actually in zone 7B. We were having a rather terrible heat wave over the course of the past month, and I've really had to keep an eye on my Cryptomerias to make sure that they were receiving enough water. 2 to 3 times a week, even through the heat wave, seemed to do really well for them. And if I noticed that maybe it was a little droopy, I would just give it some extra water. I really don't think that you can hurt this plant. It's a very tough little Cryptomeria. Having said that, not every plant in the garden can be a success case. Here I have a Cryptomeria Black Dragon that I had to dig up a few weeks ago because it was suffering from a fungal infection that had infected the roots of the plant. And so what basically happened was the tips of the plant began to turn yellow and just slowly overtook the plant until it was basically all dead plant. So if you see your Cryptomeria turning brown, be sure to trim off the edges so that it does not trail into the plant. But in my case, the plant itself was pretty stressed due to the heat wave, so it just didn't make it. The growing conditions for the Cryptomeria globasa are basically that it needs at least 6 hours of sun a day, but it can thrive in full sun up to partial shade. And this is actually the shadier side of my house. I have it on this side because I wanted to fill this space right here that you see. And the Cryptomeria globasa can be kept in the 3 to 4 range without a whole lot of maintenance. This Cryptomeria can actually get above 6 feet, but if you let it, but with very little maintenance, you can keep it around the 3 to 4 foot range. And I believe that you should only even really have to prune it every couple of years. And then of course, when the winter time is over and you have the dead foliage just from the winter time, you'll just make sure to trim that back. The Cryptomeria globasa can be used as a nice little foundation plant. You can use this in a mass planting, so if you wanted to have a hedge of Cryptomeria, you could do that and they would stay in a nice size that would not require a lot of maintenance. Just for reference, here is a more mature version of the Cryptomeria globasa. This one is actually in my moon garden, but I'm not featuring it in today's video because it suffered some damage during the painting process of my fence and is currently recovering. Another one of the great features about the Cryptomeria globasa, besides its natural mounding shape here, is that it's also deer resistant. So if you have a problem with deer, they're most likely to leave this alone. But as with any animal, if they're hungry enough, they're going to snack on it. So I don't really have a problem with deer around here. I have a bigger problem with rabbits and skunks. The skunks love to come in my garden and just help themselves. There's actually a hole right here that they've dug, trying to dig for whatever. So just part of being in the garden, you guys. Just make sure that if you have skunks in your garden, that you watch out at nighttime because that's when they come out. So anyway, the Cryptomeria globasa, easy to grow, super fun little plant. I can definitely recommend this as a nice evergreen if you're looking for something that will be low maintenance over time, is drought tolerant, and it's just a really nice fun little plant. So if you enjoyed this week's Spotlight series, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below and share with your friends if you would like to see more content like this. Alright guys, I'll see you next time on Kevin's Place.